Do you guys remember the revenge manhwa about a guy that was trapped in a diamond coffin by his bullies? And after years of punching himself out of there, he becomes this bone monster due to his regeneration ability. Literally everyone was talking about like a year ago. Well, I read it in its entirety, and it's even worse than I thought. Now, let me show you why I think that this manhwa might be kinda trash. The start is very stereotypical. First, monsters appear out of gates, and then people awaken strange abilities. And our main character gets bullied, of course. Why? There is no reason. Even when the story later supposedly explains it, it's not really an explanation. Diamond Dude just likes to bully people because of his upbringing. So he just becomes his personal punching bag, as the MC has the ability to painfully regenerate. But the MC endures the bullying because of his hardworking mom. Then, exactly on her mother's birthday, she gets packed up by Diamond Dude, and he did it because she accidentally broke his phone. Which is a perfectly normal reaction. The MC is a bit aggravated, as you can see. I mean, damn, she's completely comatose. So he goes to confront the bullies. Well, that doesn't end too well. He gets messed up and thrown into a blood gate. But not before screaming the stereotypical "I kill you." Blood gates are like normal gates, but no monsters come out and you turn into a monster if you enter them. So he gets brutalized and eaten over and over again by the creatures inhabiting the blood gate. Well, he somehow finds a way out, but now he's like part monster. So when he goes to fight the Diamond Dude, his first punch falls him like an Amazon package. So in their fight, he completely destroys the Diamond Dude's party and ends his revenge by skewering the Diamond Dude like a kebab. Following that, the MC goes to visit his still hospitalized mom, and instead of looking like this, she now looks like...
Dude, why you try not to laugh, bro? That's disrespectful as shit, bro.
So obviously he's sad now, but he's then approached by this woman, who tells him that she can save his mom if he defeats the Japanese hunters, as they are trying to take over Korea. How does she know about his mother? Don't worry, it gets explained, in the worst way possible, but that happens later on. For now he goes on a rampage, taking out as many Japanese awakeners as he can, until the Japanese Prime Minister orders Japan's strongest awakener to take care of the MC. Well, in their fight, the MC loses his head, and to show how miserable his life's been, we get a flashback. It shows how he was kind of responsible for his father's passing, which led to his mother having to take care of him alone and crying herself to sleep. He then finds out about his regeneration ability in quite the cruel way. End of the flashback. Just straight misery. And I'm not saying that stories like these cannot be entertaining. One of my favorite shows of all time has a couple arcs that are quite miserable, but there are quite literally no ups in this story. It's misery with no direction, and it's written in a way where it's just all over the place. His severed head then nibbles on bro's ankle. He thinks he's cute or something. Long story short, Japan's strongest got put on a t-shirt, even brought the head back to the Prime Minister. The MC then follows up by attacking the Prime Minister himself. But what? It turns out he's an awakener himself? And he's Japan's ranked 0? The actual strongest SSS awakener of Japan? This is so dumb. Like, how cliche can you get? This has to be satire. Because if it isn't, then this is just sad. And also, we're like 3 chapters in and the ranking system already means nothing. Literally every S rank gets folded easily. So now we just introduce SSS ranks. How do you even manage to introduce power creep at chapter 3 of your story? Well, one with a keen eye would have noticed that what happened here is kinda different from the one YouTube short everybody watched about this manhwa. And that's because what I just talked about was the redraw, and it changed some parts of the original to make a longer story happen. For example, in this version, the MC was never thrown into a blood gate, he was buried in a diamond casket. He tried punching his way out of that for years, which ended up with him looking the way he did. And another difference is that the character designs were infinitely more unique. I mean, look at her original design, and then her new one. It just looks so generic. It's like those new simplistic company logos. And to be honest, him looking the way he did made more sense in the original, as the scars from his regeneration ability look kinda like his monster form. But now it's just the monsterification making him look the way he did. Anyways, the scene with the Prime Minister is where the original manhwa ends. And if this was all there was to this, then it would have been fine. It still would have been edgy and cliche, but it wouldn't be too bad. But it didn't end. There's a lot more. So, let's see what happens next. We find out that Japan's rank 1 was the adoptive son of the Prime Minister, which is why he's mad. So the MC and him clash. The MC literally gets buried in magma, but he's just too sad to die. But there's an actual explanation for him not being able to die later on. The Prime Minister then creates a volcano and asks his wife for help. And with their combined strength, they do absolutely nothing, as the MC just claws his way out of the volcano. And then we see this. Yeah, it's so over for them. One final brawl ensues. We then see a dream how the Prime Minister and his wife kiss, but in real life she's kissing the frozen severed head of her husband. This is just straight up edge. The wife then witnesses the MC's glorious cheeks and then freezes herself. She simply couldn't handle perfection. Understandable though. Actually, you know what? Surprise! Diamond Guy gets resurrected. And you know what? His real power was sealed away all along. So in actuality, he's S-rank ? And all this time, we really thought Shakespeare died. This girl, who's the childhood friend of the Diamond Dude, lifts the seal. After that, he gathers his entire guild and massacres every single person. Because his seal power is something like power absorption, he gains the abilities of those he kills. Talking about some that ability is cursed. Like bro, stop hitting every stereotype. But still, the art is so beautiful. I mean, look at this. It's just so sad to see that was wasted on such edgy slop. Well, whatever, we get a lore dump. Basically, the Bloodgates are keeping him alive and are feeding into his beastification. Oh no, not long until he turns into a furry. Oh, and all gates are turning into Bloodgates as well. And something is coming through and is looking for him? I sure do love vague and ominous threats. Now the monsters are coming through the Bloodgates, so he has to go and fight them. He's enduring not becoming a monster. And I know it's supposed to be a serious moment, but why are his cheeks ginormous? And perfectly shaped as well. And then we get this. Is that the one who caused the crack? Bro, who are you? I've never seen you in my life before. Yeah, it's like the ominous thing looking for him, I know. And the military's attacking him as well. So he loses control and yeah. And then we get this random flashback of his best friend in high school who tried protecting him from the bullies. Why did we get this flashback out of nowhere? Simple. 2 trauma mags. By killing off said character seconds later. Because it's revealed that the friend was one of the soldiers he just murked. You know, it's just so odd. This feels like the story of a kid. Like introducing characters to instantly kill them off. It's just the most boring way to create this perpetual cycle of misery. Like, at least be creative about it. Okay, so the whole world agrees that he has to die in order for the Bloodgates to stop releasing monsters. And we see all the SSS ranks from the different countries, like Vladimir Rusana from Russia and Steven Lucas from America. Yeah, no, this has to be a troll, right? This manhwa was never serious. This is baffling. The author might just be a secret genius, you know? Because I genuinely can't believe that someone could ever write this badly. This is making me doubt everything right now. The truth is, I'm probably just gaslighting myself because I don't want to believe someone seriously made this. So for now, let's just move on. We find out that the MC aspired to be like Steven Lucas. As if that's special, everyone wants to be like Steven Lucas. He's our hero. Well, of course, the MC and Steven Lucas fight. And oh my god, he's naked. This has to be a joke. Like, there are these moments and then 10 seconds later it takes itself so serious again. Don't get me wrong, the manhwa is bad either way. But I don't know if it's on purpose or not. Yeah, Steven Lucas embraces the MC and puts him through unimaginable agony. Well, we then cut back to Diamond Guy, and he's on a side mission where he meets Russia's first ranked awakener. And she looks, what is that character design? Well, whatever, he's going to take down a monster Russia used about half of its nuclear weapons against. What do you mean half? Humanity as we know it shouldn't exist anymore. Genuinely, what are you talking about? He's tweaking. We then get to see the reason why Diamond Dude started bullying the MC, and it's because he found his power disgusting. Well, that was anticlimactic. Oh, and we actually get some character introspection because he's asking himself internally whether him living or dying would be better. And we then get this panel, which is so edgy that it makes my skin crawl, but at least it's some form of reflection. It is not the most original development, but baby steps, right? So Steven Lucas and the MC fight some more, and his mom wakes up from the coma. He finds his mom, Steven Lucas is killed, and then this psychotic mass murdering woman jumps out of Steven Lucas into the MC. We then get to see that the mom was always kind of afraid of her own son and was planning on running away but stayed because he did that to himself. The MC expels her out of his own body and then kills her. Like, do you get what I mean? The story's jumping all over the place. Plot points appear out of nowhere. None of this was ever established at all. It just happens and then it ends as quickly as it appeared. Like, why are you creating characters for a single chapter just to kill them off instantly? Stupid question, I know why. Because the author has no idea how to fill the story. It's not directionless, it's just empty. It feels as if the author is forcing themselves to make the story have a certain amount of chapters before it ends. Like they have point A and point Z planned out, but not the in-betweens. Moving on. Some really trippy stuff happens to Steven Lucas. Did he just resurrect like Jesus Christ? He frees the MC from his beastification? Then all this happens. He fights the monsters all over the world, probably? And then he dies again, I think. Even the MC is like, what bullshit is that? No, this is the author or the translator speaking to us. Like, that's what I'm supposed to say. Whatever, Diamond Dude is losing it. After defeating that one monster, he fights Russia's SSS rank, and his personality starts to split because of all his powers. And their fight is so beautiful. I mean, even look at this. This is such interesting art direction. Well, of course, Diamond Dude wins. And then the MC is kicked into a Bloodgate again by China's strongest awakener. And he just turns into a monster again. Man, I love it when my story does something and then backpedals within 2 chapters. I mean, then why did you undo his beastification in the first place? To add to his misery? The way this was handled is boring though. Like Fire Punch, but really bad. Okay, he fights the strongest Chinese awakener, and Diamond Dude China's second strongest. The MC is completely losing it, and Diamond Dude as well, he acts all concerned now. Even his childhood friend is like, what kind of bullshit is that? Both the MC and Diamond Dude win. My mom had autism. I'm not gonna explain this line. I'm just gonna let it stand here. Diamond Dude then accidentally kills his childhood friend, so now he's lost it and goes to forcefully close all the Bloodgates around the world. Then when the MC and his mother are about to reunite, Diamond Dude rips her in half, like string cheese, and forces the MC into a Bloodgate, and then closes it. 6-year time skip, and we get the weirdest lore dump, where the Bloodgates all lead is actually just hell. And the one ominous threat we were talking about is actually just Pael, the manager of hell. And whenever a world comes to an end, Bloodgates appear and Pael destroys the world. And that has just happened over and over again. But he himself can't create Bloodgates, because it's the law of the universe, but the MC can. Well, whatever, the MC watches a movie about himself. Huh, this seems oddly familiar. Now the MC gets out of hell and wants to destroy everything. Diamond Dude and he fight, and he wins. Never mind, Diamond Dude can turn back time, but he can't go back further than a certain time frame. So he can't save his childhood friend. So he tries beating the MC over and over again, in all sorts of different ways. He even comes to terms with being a bad person, and realizes his mistakes and flaws. But he still loses and sees his mom get ripped in half like he did to the MC's mom. So now he wants to die. But actually he can't, because he died so much that he's now forced to repeat everything over and over again. But somewhere else or out of the time loop, in a different timeline, the world keeps going, and we see her again talking to the MC. Like, yeah, she knows way too much. What's up with her? We find out that she's kind of like Pael's daughter, because she has his heart but was banished from hell, because she couldn't have survived there. So she's lived millions of lives. But now this haunting loneliness won't let her go. So she wants to die forever. And for that they need to be in the same dimension? Why can you both die when you're in the same dimension? When you're legitimately just a part of him? Honestly, I don't care. She does what she said, and they're both about to die. I even think the world is ending, but the MC steals her heart because he can't accept this. And it turns out this is a time loop as well, because he turns into Pael and repeats everything that happened before, and that over and over again. So now they're like 2 separate time loops, and that's just the ending. Yeah, this is it. It was just straight up trash. So much of this just doesn't make any sense, and I don't even think the author finds this good. I mean, look at this panel. This is literally the reader when witnessing this scene. This manhwa just did whatever it wanted, and it hoped that something would stick, but nothing did. Everything about this was just stupid. I'm giving this 1 Ruffles chip out of 2.